And when you come to your conclusion, you need to mention the topic again. Just once again restate the object, the context, and the method. What you're trying to find out and how. Describe the methods, describe the data analyzed. Summarize your findings. How your findings correspond to the previous research. Once again, a summary of your discussion, a summary of your hourglass principle. And only write about your data and your research. This is something that's also very important. You do speak confidently about your own results, but you do not make generalizations about the world based on your limited data sample. And this is very important. When I was a first year, second year student, I did write a few universal claims that said, oh, I found this, therefore so and so is the case. No, it's not the case, at least not all the time. I found this, therefore so and so is the case in my findings, my data sample, but not the world. Referencing, I'm going to cover it very briefly. I'm going to produce a few nice resources, including videos on referencing in the next couple of weeks on the lecturer's website. But for now, I'm just going to talk about it very briefly. And I think all this stamp is something to pay attention to. Always check the referencing guidelines for your subject. I know there are several systems used at Aston. You have Harvard, you have numerical, you have the footnote system, you have APA, and probably something else, MHRA perhaps. I'm an expert in Harvard, but I'm at the moment, because of the duties of my duties as a website officer, I'm learning other systems as well. So always check the referencing guide. Each time you enroll, each time you start a module, there is a document called Submission Guidelines for your assignments. There are always some sort of academic guidelines, and this is not for you to forget, just to put on your hard drive and forget. This is for you to read, because when you obey these rules that the university sets out, you get points, and that's what matters in the final year. Every single decimal point of your grade. Why reference? Well, obviously to avoid failing the module, and because it's fair. If you wouldn't like somebody to appropriate your work and tell it's theirs. Well, the same comes to every academic, and many academics are proud and very possessive of their work, and naturally they want to be referenced. They want to, they feel honored when you reference them. So, at least for that reason, just to make them pleased. Back up your claims. I didn't make it up, and that's my reference. And evidence of extensive reading. I've read a lot of books, a lot of journals, and these are my references. This is my information I got from them. This is my evidence. And the main principle is who wrote it, what's the book or article called, who published it, where was it published, and when. In Harvard, the when goes at number 2. So author, date, title, publisher, place of publication. No, the other way around, place of publication, publisher. But these are the 5 main points that every single reference, reference entry, the entry of your reference list must cover. I want to talk a bit about the writing process, and I've got some cartoons for you. So the writing process, just to make it simple for you. Writing, as I said, is hard work. As a writer, I know it. And there's no such thing as a perfect first draft. Good writing means rewriting. When you're writing your first draft, always think there'll be a second one, and don't stop to edit. Don't come back to it. Don't perfect paragraph 1 and never write paragraph 2. Just keep writing. As I said, write about your most immediate action, and then your main body will flesh out. So you got the first draft, then you have something to work on. But it's very important to produce it and to realize it's not perfect. So leave some time to edit it as well. Never leave your sheet blank. The blank sheet will always stare at you at the end of the day with an accusation on his blank face. Write about everything. Anything you want. Brainstorm. Write out your outline. Bullet points. Just start by doodling. Just don't leave your page blank. A blank page is a killer. Just word after word, sentence after sentence, you'll fill it in. If you can't think of a sentence to write, then write bullet points. Anything. Take notes while you're reading. but don't leave a blank page. Good writers read, and I want to talk about it a bit more. What do good writers read? Well, good academic writing is journals. It's not textbooks. Textbooks they are good, but they're too general. Good academic writing is journals, because journals are structured exactly like research reports. Journals are structured like dissertations. Many of them have a similar word count, 5 or 10,000 words. Some longer ones have 20,000, but normally a journal is 5 to 10. And nobody can write 10,000 words unless they are really big in the field. Normally they're probably short ones. So it is almost like, a journal is almost like a final year essay in its size and its structure. And when you expand it, you get your dissertation. Just like there's a lot of bad writing in fiction, 50 Shades, Twilight, all the other books. There's a lot of bad writing in fiction. There may be good stories, but it's not really good writing. Well, I can say the same thing applies to academic writing. There's a lot of writing out there that is not so good. Sentences that stretch across Yorkshire, huge words that you need to run. You need to run to the dictionary each time you encounter a word. That's not good writing. That writer has no mercy on the reader. Doesn't think about the reader, because the poor reader prancing with the dictionary and trying not to fall asleep. That's not the best. That's not what a good writer hopes for. Even academic papers, boring as they are, they must fly like a breeze if they're written well. And if they are written well, it means, first of all, always carry a notebook. Good writers carry a notebook, because you never know where a good idea might strike you. It might strike you in the pool, it might strike you in the pub, it might strike you in a club, especially after you had a few pints. Good ideas do strike you unexpectedly on the bus. I always carry a notebook, because as deadlines approach, I need good ideas more than ever. Linking words, firstly, secondly, moreover, nevertheless, use them. They make your writing coherent. And do not complicate things. Do not write sentences that stretch across Yorkshire and beyond. No big words. Well, you can use a few. Finally, when you are editing your paper, of course, you would use the spell checkers function in your Microsoft Word to replace the word very with the word considerably or significantly, as many people I know have been doing. Or to replace a simple word with a more complicated one, to replace an Anglo-Saxon word with a French one because it sounds more academic. It is true. Big words are nice, but not in excess. Do not complicate things. Simple, crisp English prose, that's the best thing in academic writing. If it flies like a breeze for your lecturer, it will be memorable, and you will get points, as long as you're relevant. I want to talk about paragraph structure. A paragraph is a bit like a burger or a sandwich. You have the topic sentence, the top one. You have the supporting sentences, which are the meat and the lettuce and the cheese and the onions of your assignment. And then you have the concluding sentence that wraps it all up. And in the topic sentence, you introduce what you are saying in this paragraph. In the supporting sentences, you write about your evidence, your references, your arguments, your claims. Back them up. And the concluding sentence, it goes back towards the topic sentence, sort of echoing it, saying that based on this evidence, this is the case. And it also goes back to the topic of your actual assignment, saying why what you've written is relevant. Speak to your lecturers. Always speak to your lecturers. What I'm saying here is subjective. It's important to understand what the lecturers want. When you all have a dissertation supervisor, keep in touch. Even if sometimes it can be hard to keep in touch with the supervisor, especially if you have a question. But if you have a question and a piece of writing that your supervisor might want to look at, you're more likely to get a response. If your email has an attachment, if you show a supervisor that you're doing your work, even if it's just outlining. But keep in touch with your supervisor, keep in touch with your lecturer. This video course is presented to you in association with thelectureroom.co.uk and firstyearcounts.com. Feel free to check out our websites. Also feel free to like our Facebook pages. facebook.com/thelectureroom1 for the lecture room, and facebook.com/first.year.counts for firstyearcounts.com. This course is based on my book, From Confusion to Conclusion: How to Write a First-Class Essay. The book can be purchased from Amazon as a paperback and as a Kindle ebook. If you don't own a Kindle reader, Amazon has many applications for your PC, Mac, smartphone or tablet to download for free and read this book wherever you want, on whatever device you want. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at first.year.counts@gmail.com. Also, if you liked this video, feel free to talk about it. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and if you decide to purchase my book and you like it, please write me a review on Amazon. Thank you very much. Enjoy reading, enjoy writing.